What's up, YouTube? I hope everybody is having a great week so far. It's been a hot minute since I have connected with my YouTube family. Let's see if we can get a filter going. I'll wait a few moments for you guys to join the broadcast, but I just wanted to welcome you all. All right, for those of you joining, hey Jennifer Moore, what's up, babe? Brianna Ponce, hello. So thank you guys for joining me today. It is a pleasure to be here. Hello, hello. While you guys are joining the broadcast, why don't you guys let me know? Comment where you're from and how you found Gauge Growth Training. Instagram doesn't work. I'm not sure what's happening on Instagram. I tried to do a live broadcast twice and it did not work today. Hey, Las Vegas, very nice. South Carolina, what's up? Very nice. So while you guys are here, please give this video a thumbs up if you're gonna partake in the Q&A. Norway, hey Kim Thomas, what's up, babe? And what I'm here to do today, New York. Love, love, love New York. Hey, they call me Ray. How you doing? New Jersey, yes, East Coast. Okay. Maryland, welcome. Hey, Susan, how are you? Virginia, Ghana, West Africa, love it. Detroit, welcome everyone. Nice, Susan, Boston. I love it, guys. I'm really happy to be here today. I wanted to take your questions. I am yours for the next 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes on your questions about nutrition science, about macros, about what you should be doing, about what's working, about what's not working, common misconceptions. Let me know your concerns, you guys, and let's talk about it, because 9 times out of 10, if you have a question, other people have the same question. It's no different than school. Yes, I've been missing you guys as well. I have been working on a lot of projects, but I'm coming back up for air. Happy to be here. You got your custom plan and it has you eating more carbs than protein. Do not freak out about that. Do not freak out about that. Do I ever get overwhelmed with all of the nutrition info out there? I don't. And the reason I don't get overwhelmed is because I look at things from the lens of science. I think sometimes when there's a lot of conflicting information out there sometimes, I believe that it's easy for people to become overwhelmed, but you shouldn't be. And you can just look at the data, look at the literature, look at what the research says, see what makes sense, and apply it from there. I don't get overwhelmed by the amount of information out there. And if anything, it motivates me to want to provide you guys these opportunities to ask your questions. Let's see here. Are online macro calculators good to use to get the BMR? Marva, that's an excellent question. And here's my take on that. I would not stress about, I don't trust any online macro calculator, number one. Number two, BMR calculators are perfectly fine. And the reason I don't trust any online macro calculators is this. The rules of thumb that go into the logic for those automatic calculations have caveats. They have asterisks, and those things don't necessarily apply to you all the time. So for online BMR calculations, I like to use the BMR calculator on a website by active.com. Now, BMR calculators are perfectly fine, but online macro calculators, stay away. Let's see here. Yolanda says, I did initially freak out about the macros, but you're trusting the plan, trusting the process. Yolanda, I encourage you to please trust the process on that. And the reason I'm saying this is because I actually just had a client who has been plateauing, and I increased her calories by about 300-400 calories. And it wasn't arbitrary. I had a method and I had a reason. I had a specific percentage and ratio. And this client of mine has been eating substantially higher calories for the last 12 days. and has been able to break out of her plateau. Her waist has gotten smaller, and she's just completely shocked the fact that more food has boosted her progress. And I'm going to be talking about one of the biggest dieting mistakes coming on YouTube this week. And one of the biggest dieting mistakes I see people make is going far too low in calorie for too long. And I'm going to explain why that's bad for you hormonally, what it does, how that impacts your body, and how to reverse out of that. So stay tuned, you guys. I got a lot of cool YouTube content coming for you guys. How did I get into food science? It's an excellent question. I believe Nakisha asks that. So I'm a chemical engineer, and I say by training, that means I'm formally educated in chemical and biological engineering. I functioned as a chemical engineer in my first job at DuPont for 6 years. And from there, I got into the biotech business. When I was in the biotech business, I was still using chemical engineering for scaling up chemical processes, but I was also doing a lot of product development. And the thing is, the skills I have in chemical engineering can be applied to any sector. It could be applied to biotech, and eventually I started to apply it to nutrition. So I took my product development skills and applied it to cosmeceuticals, applied it to nutraceuticals. And once I started applying my product development skills that I learned in chemical engineering from DuPont to the nutrition science sector, that's how I got into product development of dietary supplements and into the manufacturing of dietary supplements and how those impact the body and how other variables impact the body. So it was a snowball evolution of things that led me to this point. Let's see some of these questions. Can I explain the difference between the BMR calculator versus macro calculator? Yes, I can. BMR stands for your basal metabolic rate. Your BMR, that's a number of calories. Your macros are the amounts of protein, carbs, and fats you need. So if you know your BMR or your basal metabolic rate, that will tell you how many calories you need to sustain your current body mass at rest, and if you wanted to maintain that current mass. Now, most people want to be at a lighter body mass. So as a result of that, your goal BMR will be lighter. Now, the difference between your BMR and your macros is this. In order to figure out your total caloric intake, you need to take your BMR or your basal metabolic rate, multiply that by an activity factor, and then that tells you how many calories you need to eat in a day. Once you know that value, you need to take those calories, either apply a deficit, apply a surplus, keep it the same if you want to maintain, and then figure out what macros you should do. So figuring out what macros you should do, again, you guys, I do not recommend online macro calculators. All right, so let's see here. How do I feel about apple cider vinegar, and would using it with a 6-week shred be beneficial in my opinion? I think apple cider vinegar is something that can only help and not hurt. I'm not going to tell you that apple cider vinegar is going to magically help you lose weight. Apple cider vinegar is going to be something that's excellent to help manage your cortisol levels. It's going to be helpful with digestion. Apple cider vinegar is not going to boost fat loss, but it will help with digestion. It will help with keeping your cortisol levels low. So do I recommend you take apple cider vinegar on the 6-week shred? It can't hurt. It can only help. It can only help. What are my thoughts on the starch solution diet? I have no clue what that is, so I can't tell you what it is. C. Renee asks, what can I eat if I'm fat and protein efficient? Whatever that means. I would recommend you get a custom meal plan, and I'll be able to help you out with that. Our custom meal plans are on sale, 50% off until tomorrow, July 4th at midnight Eastern Standard Time. You have to enter the code July50. If you want help with that, shoot me a DM. I'll send you the link, and you guys can DM me, which means direct message me on Instagram at Gauge Girl Trainings. For those of you guys just joining the broadcast, welcome. We are doing a live nutrition science Q&A. Veronica Grierson says, stuck in carb thinking. You're so confused because yes, you lose weight when you eat low carb, but you find you're way more sensitive to high carb foods during your maintenance phase. Am I possibly doing more bad than good? Veronica, I recommend you get a consult or a custom meal plan. That way probably a consult, so that way I can walk you through where the tipping point is for you. Do I have a favorite app to keep track of all my food? I use my FitnessPal. I'm old school. I haven't tried some of the newer ones, but I like my FitnessPal. Works perfectly fine for me. Is it possible to lose weight and be healthy without cutting carbs? Yes, it is. How often should you change your calculation to be in a caloric deficit? Maria Lara, I would recommend making adjustments to your macros once every 4 to 6 weeks, minimum, if not more. The starch solution diet promotes eating predominantly starches, some fruit. Is this high carb a good idea? I don't recommend it. Mrs. Hepburn 630, is there anything I would recommend eating for a few days to reduce inflammation? You can stay away from dairy, gluten, and grains. Suggestions to help with extreme muscle soreness from being new to weight training. I recommend including some branched chain amino acids intra and post-workout along with some glutamine. How long should you be in a caloric surplus to put on muscle? I'd say for a female, I'd say the maximum amount of muscle, not maximum, I'd say a steady amount of muscle you could put on in a month is maybe about 1 pound of muscle, maybe 1-2 pounds maximum, absolute maximum. So it's going to depend on how much muscle you're looking to do. Is it true that a high carb diet is good for brain function? I wouldn't recommend it. What are my thoughts about fat burners on the 6-week shred? I don't recommend fat burners. It's a hard no by me. It's a hard no. And the reason, you're wasting your money. You're wasting your money on fat burners. The only thing that's going to burn body fat is being in a caloric deficit and having more muscle on your frame, dialing in your cardio. There is no magic pill, you guys. If there was a magic pill, trust me, I would be selling it. Like, I'd be selling it. It doesn't exist. Anything that does work is illegal. Stop the quick fixes, guys. Just get out of that mentality because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, shit, it'd be better just to like get surgery if you're gonna be thinking that way. Do I think waist trainers work? Here's my thought on waist trainers. I've used waist trainers in the past. They are not going to accelerate fat loss. They will make you sweat more. Some people like the idea of sweating more. Does increased sweat mean increased fat loss? No. What I liked about waist trainers in the past has been the fact that it made me mindful of my food intake, because when you have this like really rigid fitted corset around your waist, it makes you more mindful of the fact that you need to be on top of your nutrition. What do I think of Philip Goglia? I do not know who that is. So I want to get the most out of my workout. Should you use creatine pre-workout? What time you want to be safe? Deandra Redster. As a female, I recommend creatine ethyl ester. Maximum 4 grams pre-workout. For a female, don't use creatine monohydrate. It's gonna make you bloated. If you have bigger legs, is it better to put on muscle and then shred to get rid of the fat on the legs, or can you cut? Nilo, it depends on your current body fat percentage and what your goal is. So I don't necessarily recommend bulking unless your body fat percentage is relatively low, where you are happy with your current lines and cuts. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. If you feel like you still have fat to lose, focus on losing that fat first. Get down to a level of leanness you're comfortable with. And then from there, I would recommend doing a lean bulk. So what's the best way to lose weight fast? I feel like every time I eat, you feel like you swell. You're not gonna lose weight fast. And I'm not going to recommend the types of things that you can do to lose weight fast because it's not sustainable. This channel is about the science of nutrition. I'm not going to condone the quick fixes. I refuse to do it. There's plenty of people on the internet who will sell you some BS. I'm not one of them. So I'm sorry, but it's a process. It takes time. It's gonna take effort. I know people don't want to hear that. Are there things I could tell you to do that's gonna make the number on the scale less in the next few days? Of course there are. You can manipulate your water, you can manipulate your salt, you can manipulate your carbs, but that's not going to translate into fat loss, and you're gonna end up hurting yourself in the long run. Thank you, Jennifer, I appreciate that. And again, guys, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'm saying this to help you guys, because dude, every 24 hours there's some new stupid BS quick fix on the internet that only manipulates your water, carb, and salt intake, and you think you're losing fat, but you're only losing water weight. Is there a way to estimate how fast your own metabolism is? It's an interesting question. You can get your basal metabolic rate tested. I feel that in terms of figuring out how fast your metabolism is, I would put that in the hands of your doctor. I'd put that in your hands of your doctor. I mean, there's like some little things that I gauge personally with respect to like resting heart rate and things of that nature, but I would talk to your doctor about that. So let's see here. But guys, I got 2 more minutes. So taking any last questions, last call. Do I think a fruit cleanse for a week is healthy? No, I do not. I don't promote cleanses. I don't promote detoxes. I don't recommend eating 100% liquid carbs for a week. I don't recommend it. It doesn't work. Will you lose weight? Yes. If you may lose weight if you are eating less than you were before. Hey, Patricia, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Not a problem, Phoenix. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. How was my photo shoot? I had a few of them and they were good. They were good. Can't complain. Let's see here. I'll have photos, especially from the magazine one, the editorial. It's going to be in the August edition of Modern Salon. So if you guys haven't been watching, I think it was Monday, I was in a hair photo shoot. So these people liked my hair. How is my shred going? My shred's going great, actually. Thank you for asking, Chantel. I have been on point with my macros. I'm down pounds. I'm down inches. I'm feeling better. It's just been absolutely fantastic. Likewise, Jennifer, what do I do to lose weight or stay in shape? Any advice? I dial in my macros. It always works. How can I design a custom meal plan from a stranger? 2 ways. That's an excellent question. I have a very detailed questionnaire. The questionnaire asks you a lot of questions that we need your input on with respect to your current stats, your food preferences, things you like, things you don't like, things you need to see in your meal plan, what your goals are, what your limitations are. And then from there, we follow it up with a phone call where we discuss with you what those preferences are and make sure your goals are dialed in. And then from there, we build the program. So that's how it's done. Would I consider putting together a nutrition course that goes a little deeper into the science of it? Actually, I have. I have a 12-hour course called Mastering Macros. You can go to GageGirlTraining.com and click on the button Courses, and that'll lead you to my course, the 12-hour Mastering Macros course. It's an excellent course. It is all video-led, and you get the PowerPoints, you get the PowerPoints, you get the videos of me explaining everything. It's a very in-depth course, very, very, very in-depth. And there's also payment plans for those. Oh, no problem, C. Renee. It's a pleasure. So, Afraz, if you're interested, this course is fantastic. What exercises do I recommend if you're sedentary for a back injury? I would talk to a physical therapist about that. When you're injured, when you're injured, you don't want to take chances, and a physical therapist is probably the best person you want to get your advice from because they can evaluate you in person. And I think doing an online evaluation for a personal injury is not ideal. I can dial in your nutrition and all those types of things, but I wouldn't feel comfortable. So speak to a physical therapist who could meet with you in person. Are home body fat scales accurate? In my experience, is no. How do you, thank you. Yeah, most are not accurate. I think they're suitable for telling you relative changes in your body fat percentage, but I wouldn't advise holding on to that number. So guys, I hope you guys have a great day. This is all I have time for at the moment, but stay tuned for some more uploads later this week. Take care, everyone, and have a fantastic day. If I don't talk to you guys, wishing you a very happy 4th of July. Please note that we have a sale for 50% off of our 4-week custom meal plan until tomorrow at midnight Eastern Standard Time. You have to enter code July50 at checkout to take advantage of that offer. Ends tomorrow, and all sales are final, so make sure if you're on the fence, you get in on this. This is our biggest sale on a customized program. So take care, guys. Bye now.